All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Jordan Jones, DOC number 623-882.
Jordan, my name is Brendan Kelsey. Along with me is Mr. Freeman and Mr. Marabella will be your panel. We're here for a parole revocation hearing. We'll ask you rule violations. You'll plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement. We'll discuss it, and then take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir, I understand.
And you have Mr. Brian Lars here again, the social worker, and Ms. Haser Kendara. At the appropriate time, you guys can make your statements. Jordan Jones, DOC number 623-882. Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you by any chance?
Yes, sir.
That's your signature at the bottom.
Yes.
Okay. Can you read and write?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. Rule number 4. You were arrested on 12/30/2022 in Orleans Parish. You were placed in the Orleans Justice Center and charged with domestic abuse battery. Charges were refused on 1/26/2023. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. And number 10, you have processing fees arrears in the amount of $65 and supervision fees in the arrears of the amount of $1,205. How do you plead?
I have pleaded guilty to that.
All right, answer, Mr. Freeman, please.
Okay, Mr. Jones, what happened? I mean, why did the police come? Why were you arrested? And as I stated to the last guy, make sure you tell me the truth. You tell me the truth, and we can work with it.
Yes, sir. But what happened was me and my own girlfriend had a heated argument, and I believe the neighbor called the police because she overheard us arguing.
Okay, and then was there any physicality in the argument?
Well, basically, with me trying to leave the house, it was a little physical with me trying to leave when I had packed my stuff because I was going by my sister's house after we had an argument because I ain't go to work that day because I ain't go to work that day because I had to go to court for a traffic ticket that I had to go for in Harahan. So when I had made it back home, she had just came through the door and we had a brief argument about something that happened last night dealing with the Thursday night football game. Cause she came home later and I was upset or whatever because I had cooked dinner. I had cooked red beans and pork chop and cornbread. And by the time she got home, the mail was cold. So that's where the argument first started. Then the argument picked back up the next morning when she came home from work. She had came home from work early because we didn't get much sleep. We was arguing most of that night. So when she came home from work, it was an argument and she pushed me or whatever and I grabbed my stuff. And by the time I went outside, the police was already in front of the door. So that's how I figured the neighbor called the police because she was in front of me the whole time.
Okay. And I asked you to try to be honest with me. I mean, they got footage from the body cam showing bruises on her. Her boss sent her home from work because of the injuries she had. So you trying to say you never put your hands on her, didn't injure her?
I pushed her off me. I did not smack that girl. I did not, sir. I didn't.
So how did she get these injuries?
Yeah, I don't know. She was up most of the night. She worked. She was drinking. I didn't see no injuries on her when the police came. I saw because she's very red and light. She's a light-skinned female. Like she almost passed for Caucasian. I didn't see not one injury on her.
Okay, and what about the statement she made that this goes on 3 or 4 times a week? Y'all getting these physical arguments.
Yeah, we have arguments, but it don't get physical. That girl was mad because I was leaving and going to move by my sister's house. And I told her I didn't want to be with her no more. And that's what it was. So she wanted me in jail at the time. But as time went on, she realized that it's not right having me in jail if I'm not abusing her.
Okay, let me ask you this. You had some other violations before where they ordered you to go to anger management and you didn't go. What happened?
Well, when I had got out of jail, I had contacted my lawyer. I left her messages, and I never was told where to go at. Nobody never told me where I go at to even to start by attending anger management when I had got out that time.
Did you reach out to your parole officer?
I reached out to her, but it wasn't nothing about anger management. After 3 months, it was never.
Want to ask?
Sir?
Okay, I have no further questions.
Okay. We'll hear from the social worker now. Mr. Lars?
Yes, sir. Social worker with the Orleans Public Defender's Office, and I'm here in support of Mr. Jones. Again, in meeting with Mr. Jones on several occasions, I've had the opportunity to build a very positive relationship with him. And some of the things that I identified in meeting with him is that we've developed a very positive working relationship. And he has been able to verbalize remorse, on how he possibly could have handled the situation. Because we talk about those things. Again, like I said, I always ask my clients, do you think you could have handled the situation better? Is there anything that you think you could have done? It's just kind of like a CBT kind of like approach. And I'm sure he'll be able to talk about those things when he makes his statement. And one of the things I definitely just want to point out, I think I feel similar to this case as well. And one of the things I just want to point out, and by the way, I've had several conversations with Ms. Talbot, and she expressed that she wants Mr. Jones home, and that he's very supportive, and that he's been a great provider to her and her family. And one of the things that I want you to make mention of, I want to mention is that Mr. Jones have a very supportive letter from the manager at Mandina's restaurant on Canal Street, very well-known restaurant that's been in existence for a long time. He's been gainfully employed for the past 2 years. His manager speaks very highly of him, and he'll be able, he will have, be able to secure employment if he's granted release. He also have a letter from Ms. Talbot, expressing her wish to have Mr. Jones home. And again, I put some things in place to address any underlying issue. He said he didn't know where he had to go the last time for anger management, domestic violence classes. He'll know from me. I've already had this discussion with him. He agreed to accept our services and recommendations. And I've also referred him to CADA, and that's included in the package too. CADA, we work very closely with CADA, where he'll be able to participate in those anger management classes, the domestic violence classes, and things of that nature. And also at First 72. I think he'll benefit from some mentorship and participating in peer support groups. Again, he'll have access to our office to meet daily to help him to work through life challenges or to kind of navigate through difficult situations. And it is an opinion of the Orleans Public Defender's Office that Mr. Jones will stand a better chance of success with the plans that I've detailed, with the steps that I've detailed, rather. Mr. Jones is not a bad person. Again, he wasn't just around, he's been gainfully employed for 2 years, and I think that he's trying. I just think that he needs some additional support, and I'm there for him. And I also put these supportive measures in place to assist on the work that I'll be doing with him.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
Ms. Candera, would you like to make a statement?
Yes, good morning. My name is Hajar Kandara. I'm an attorney with the Public Defender's Office. I first met Mr. Jones. I'll keep my comments brief. I first met Mr. Jones January 1st of this year on a Sunday. The two main things we talked about is one, his 10-year-old son, whose birthday was on Mardi Gras. He spoke very highly of his son, and he accepted responsibility for being where he is. He didn't express anger towards Miss Talbot, or the police or anyone else. He understood that his actions of starting the argument, or like continuing the argument but not leaving, led to his arrest. However, I think with the connections Mr. Lars has put in place for Mr. Jones will help him redirect his life and be a continuing member of the New Orleans community. I think his continued employment at Mendina's will ensure his stable environment. And I can't speak to his previous attorney, but Mr. Jones has my cell number. And if he's to call or text me for anything, I'm here and ready to help him and connect him to more services or any other services he may need. And I would suggest that he be given another chance. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Mr. Jones, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I just wanna thank y'all for having me today and getting me in front of the board so soon. I really appreciate that, you know. I do accept full responsibility, you know, because I could have left and made things different, you know, because I'm a man, and you know, I could have left and the whole situation would have been different. But me being who I am, I made the wrong decision. So I'm very thankful for my lawyers because they're gonna help me reach the right goals that I'm trying to achieve in life. And I just want to make things right. I have 25 days left on parole, and I just want to pay the rest of my little fines and fees and just do the right thing and stay out of trouble.
Okay. Great, thank you, Pam. Fair to vote, Mr. Freeman.
Yes, like you stated, you do only have 25 days left on parole. I asked you to be honest with me. I don't think you were even close to honest. I think there was some physical altercation between you. And you didn't even try to go to that anger management class. All you had to do was ask your probation officer. They'd have set it up for you. So my vote today is to revoke.
Mr. Marabella.
I agree for the same reason, Mr. Freeman.
And I agree for the same reasons as stated. 3 votes to revoke, your parole has been revoked. Good luck to you.